Hey guys, welcome back to Stumblin Forward. Thanks for being here. I'm one of your hosts, Monica Ortega.
And I'm Kristen Herman.
And today we have a really exciting guest. So for 20 years, award-winning chiropractor Dr. Kelly Henry helped his patients live healthier lives. With the foundation of providing exceptional customer service, Dr. Henry grew his clinics into one of the top producing chiropractic offices in the nation with multiple locations and doctors. Since 2018, Dr. Henry has used his system to coach business leaders on improving customer service to create incredible growth and profits. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Well, I guess we'll start things off if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what your goals are here.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, I'm a retired chiropractor, practiced for 20 years, built up clinics on the foundation of customer service. 2018, I retired and moved into the coaching consulting realm, mainly because customer service was so impactful in my business. I wanted to help business owners understand that and utilize it for their businesses. And I've been coached for many, many years and saw the impact that had on me as well. So I just meshed the two together and here I am.
Awesome. Where did you get started? So I know that you wanted to be a chiropractor, like in the beginning, you just thought like, this is something I should just jump into. You practiced in New Mexico. Tell us like where you went to school and why chiropractor in the beginning.
Absolutely. I played baseball in high school and I was a pitcher, and my sophomore year of high school and pitching, I got to the point where I could hardly throw a ball without my arm feeling like it was going to fall off. And, coaches just told me to keep working through it. And finally, my parents decided to take me to the medical route and just nothing resolved. And so my mom had been a chiropractic advocate for many years. She's like, let's go to the chiropractor, see what happens there. And lo and behold, worked on my neck and cleared up my problems. So that really piqued my interest into being a chiropractor. And
that's amazing that you didn't have to get surgery, because working through something like that can really be damaging.
Exactly. So I was very fortunate in that way. And then obviously it steered me in a direction for a career. And we also had a family friend that was a chiropractor that obviously piqued my interest a little bit more and advocated for it. So he let me talk with him, and we were around him a lot. So that steered me in the right direction as well. So that was the origin of my chiropractic journey.
I wanted to ask, because you did put that you failed miserably at your first clinic. So how did that come about, and how did that change the way you move forward?
I graduated from chiropractic school here in the Dallas area back in 1998. And my wife and I, and we just had our first child at the time, we wanted to live in Phoenix. We had no family there. We had no friends there. We just liked Phoenix. We liked the climate. So we decided to pack up and move to Phoenix. And I had this grand idea that I was going to hang up my diploma, that, I'd spend a couple of weeks marketing and I would suddenly become successful and have all kinds of patients. And you probably know where this story went. So it was a very humbling experience. Made me realize I knew nothing about running a business, about starting a business, about creating a business, anything about business. So several things happened with that that really helped me get to the point where I was much more successful. First thing was I was in a clinic with several chiropractors. So we all had our own business, but we shared a facility. A couple of the chiropractors, three of the chiropractors had been in practice for years, and they were very much mentors to me. They helped me get the basis of running a business and marketing and getting patients and understanding that those ideas, and really gave me foundation. And they were so generous with their time that, I probably asked a million questions in the year I was there with these three docs, and none of them, they always took me kind of under the wing, and they were so generous and just tremendous asset and mentors to me. Something else that happened was, my wife and I, we barely scraped by at that point. At times we had to rely on family to help us with rent and those things. So again, it was very humbling. But later on, as I became more successful and we had money, I always remembered how a family had helped me, but I also appreciated what I had later on because I'd been, kind of at the bottom there where we really suffered through the difficult time. After church on Sunday, my wife and I still joke about it. We would scrape up, $1 or $2 to go to Taco Bell and get a couple things off their dollar menus. That's how bad it was. So,
Yeah.
and then, anytime a family member showed up in town, we're like, where do you want to take us out to eat? Those type of things. Took advantage
And
of
honestly,
it.
being able to like still move forward during such like a hard time, and like I don't have a family or kids yet, but I think that would even be even more like stressful at that time. So pushing yourself forward. So when you started, you were doing like, you opened your own chiropractor like business, chiropractic, is that the word?
Chiropractic.
Chiropractic.
Whatever you want to say.
What's the right grammar for this? I don't know. Chiropractory. Anyway, so new word, coined it. Anyway, so you started your own and then you started working for other doctors, learned a lot. You did it for 20 years. So that's like a long time. And then what kind of brought you into coaching? So did you have your own coach and then you just wanted to like do your own thing? Where was the success?
You bet. Well, let me give you a little more. Let me add a little more to the story. So
okay.
Practiced for a year in Phoenix and again, failed miserably. I had the opportunity, a doctor in New Mexico near where my wife was from, contacted me during that time, said, "Hey, I'm retiring. Would you like to buy out my clinic?" And so fortunately, I was able to jump on that opportunity, work out some creative financing, and move forward and take over this chiropractor's clinic. He was a great chiropractor, but he was older, didn't have much left, but it was still patience and it was a whole lot better than what I had in Phoenix. So, so started that venture and I had enough information from my mentors in Phoenix that had helped me along that I was able to sustain that clinic and make some money and did a little bit better. My mentality has always been, I'm a goal-oriented person. It's never if I'm going to succeed, it's when. And so I was always trying to push towards my goals. And so that first 3-4 years of that practice in New Mexico, I was basically just staying at the same level. I could never get it pushed past where I wanted to go. So again, we were doing okay, but it just was not fulfilling to me because I knew I could do so much more. One of my chiropractic buddies who I'd graduated with had hired a coach and consultant, and all of a sudden his practice is skyrocketing and taking off. So I'm like, all right, give me their name and number. Let me get with them. And so that was my first venture into the coaching world and having a consultant. And that was 2003. And from that point on, again, my practices took off. They helped me, really what they helped me do is get systems in place, be able to communicate better, all the typical things that a consultant and coach can do for you. But again, that was the start of really my chiropractic career really taking off.
What would you say is the biggest mistake you made in the first one that you shifted and did differently the second time?
Well, the biggest mistake was just having that. Well, I like to say I didn't know enough. I didn't know enough to know what I didn't know. I was just completely ignorant of what it takes to, and I didn't necessarily study. I felt like, I completed chiropractic school, and that is a big milestone. There's a lot of work involved with that, but you get about that much business knowledge. And you can imagine where that, what that does for you. So having the, hey, I'm a doctor doesn't get you very far in making any money. So I was completely ignorant in the business realm. So I should have either hired a coach or I should have done a whole lot more studying and figuring some things out before trying to attempt a business. None of my family had, I'm not blaming them, but none of them were entrepreneurs or necessarily had started businesses and those type of things. So I just didn't have any kind of background or any foundation that way. So, that was a huge mistake. Moving forward, I'd learned from those mentors in Phoenix, and I was able to, skate along in the new practice in New Mexico. But again, just not knowing, I don't know how to keep ramping this up. And that's where, again, just finally deciding, hey, let's have some outside help. Let's see what they can do. And it, at the time I was thinking this is an expense. I don't know if I want to spend that much money. But then if you really look at it, well, where are you going to be in 5 years if you don't get help? If you just keep doing the same thing, that kind of that definition of insanity. You just keep doing the same over and over.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was doing. So, okay, let's quit doing that. Let's get an outside perspective. And as soon as I decided to do that and understood the concept and where that was going.
And understanding the investment, because it is, it's an investment. You have to believe that hiring a coach or hiring an outside source is really going to help your business in the long run. And even though it's like, it's hard to wrap your mind around all the time, same thing with education. You're just like, do I go back to business school? Like, that would be a really big investment, and like, that's crazy. But yeah,
it paid itself back tenfold once you actually put those practices into place too.
Well, for me, 100-fold, tremendous benefits for me.
So what would you say?
I feel like, people don't think of themselves as entrepreneurs in different businesses unless it's like, I got startup funding capital from a venture capitalist and I'm going to do this. I think we forget the business portion across the board in whatever you do. So, I wish that they would teach more business in school. But
in general education, yes. Yeah. Like, I think that business and finances can help you across the board. It just helps you with so many different things. And I'm in the same boat with you where I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing with business. And thankfully my mother, she is an entrepreneur in her own sense, and she can tell me some things, but I'm like, where did you learn it? She's like, I just did research. And I was like, oh my God, it's so much. So, but what would you tell someone who wants to get into either their own business or is thinking about hiring a coach, but maybe doesn't think they should make the investment right away? What do you think?
Yes.
That's it. Cut.
There you go. Do both, to be honest with you. Starting a business, going into business, a lot of times entrepreneurs, they have an idea, but they're fearful and they want to make the perfect time. It's not the perfect time. Well, there's no such thing as the perfect time. I live by the philosophy of ready, fire, aim. Just get after it.
Oh, I love that.
But make sure you are adaptable. Make sure you are willing to learn and study and put forth some effort so you can course correct, because there are going to be stumbling blocks. There are going to be stumbling forward. You're going to be failing. You're going to, there's going to be issues and problems. That's just life. My philosophy has always been, like I mentioned earlier, it's not if I'm going to succeed, it's when. So how am I going to get to that win? What do I need to do? What do I need to learn? What do I need to focus on? How do I need to pivot, correct, whatever the case may be, but just keep pushing forward. The other line, the other quote I love, or the other saying that I talk about all the time is, there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. So
ooh, I love that.
If you hit something and it doesn't work out like you want it to, and it which happens all the time, don't look at it as you failed. Stand back, look at it objectively, see what happened, see where things may have gone wrong, and then move forward more intelligently. Maybe you have to pivot and go a little different direction. Maybe you just did one piece wrong, but look at it, figure things out, and then move forward in a little more intelligent manner.
Oh, so many gems. Lately, I keep hearing everyone say fail forward, and I love that concept.
That's really great.
Exactly. Fail forward.
Yeah. And it can be very discouraging when you hit those markers where it doesn't work out, or you don't know what you're doing, or it doesn't turn out the way you thought it would. Or it's like, it's so easy to stop and then just get caught up in failure,
Exactly.
So. Yeah.
And that one of the other things too, because I get stuck in that too, where it's dang it, this ain't gonna work out. Should I keep moving that way? I really should be doing this, those type of things. And then I have to refocus and stop looking at the problem, stop looking at it as failure, and start looking at the solutions. Okay, how can I get past this? What do I need to do differently? Either you're going to be focused on the problem or you can be focused on the solution. So let's start focusing on solutions, and there's resources, there's great podcasts like this, there's books, there's YouTube videos. I mean, you can research. There's all kinds of resources if you really truly want to learn and move forward in a little more intelligent manner. So it's really up to you, but you got to look for those solutions to help you keep moving forward and really failing forward.
I love that.
Yeah.
I see why people like you as a coach. So what are your goals with the coaching business then?
Just help as many businesses as I can. The bottom line of customer service is serving somebody else. And that's why, a lot of businesses are, kind of the in term now is customer experience. Let's create a customer experience. And that I'm not pointing fingers or saying that's wrong, but I like to go old school and call it customer service, because when you're service minded, you're going to create a great experience. So it has to go down to the core. But my job in my office was always to serve my patients. We wanted to be there for them. We wanted them to feel valued. We wanted them to feel important. That was very beneficial for my business, but it's also very beneficial for my patients. And we wanted to be the best part of my patient's day. And so when they left my office and we made them feel valued and important and special, and they left in a better positive mind frame and felt better, well, then they could interact with their family or their friends or their employer or the grocery store, checkout person. So it rippled out. So again, my goal from, whether I'm coaching or on a podcast, I just want to serve, because it's going to ripple out. And then as I coach my clients, so they understand that, and serve first, which is actually going to help them sell more, but it's bigger than that. You serve first, you value your customers, you're going to have a positive effect that ripples out beyond just that interaction you have with that customer. So it's just a bigger concept.
Yeah, I think so many people are focused on sales and they forget to provide value. Like if you can provide the value, the sales will come. So
yes,
exactly. And that's one of my lines is let's learn to serve better to sell more.
And also it just reminds me of relationships. It's like, it's not just a product, which is really great. And you want to have a great product to serve, but also, being able to create those lasting relationships with your clients or customers or whoever,
Exactly. So, and that's something else I talk about. It's let's move from being so sales minded to service minded. Let's be relationship minded, not transaction minded.
Yes.
And when you do that, again, it ultimately creates more sales for you.
Yeah. That's awesome. So where would you like to push your coaching business? Do you really want to, would you ever like to speak live or anything?
I feel like you should write a book.
I think you should write a book as well.
I have written a book. So right back here.
Is it
the audio listener?
Define and Deliver?
Yeah, Define and Deliver Exceptional
Nice.
Customer Service. It just launched a couple of weeks ago. So
nice. Congrats.
Yeah, my first book, so pretty excited about it. But listeners can find it on Amazon or on my website, drkellyhenry.com. It's a very simple read. It's only about 150 pages long. There's no fluff in it. It's just simple ideas, principles, rules that a business owner can take, implement almost immediately to drive basically better customer service, to serve better so they can sell more.
I'm in the process of publishing a book right now, and it is no small feat. So congratulations.
Congratulations is right.
Well, thank you. So just keep pushing forward on it. It's quite an accomplishment once you get to that finished product. So
awesome. Define and Deliver. So where can, do you want to add anything else? Do you want to tell our audience anything else that you really want them to capture and to know?
For the business owners, always think of your business Well, I thought of my offices, my chiropractic clinics. We were a customer service business that just happened to do chiropractic.
Mm.
So if you can think in those terms, no matter what business you're in, if you're an entrepreneur selling, paintings or, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But you should always first be in the customer service business that just happens to do X or provide X or whatever service that can be. And that just keeps you in that mind frame of serving first. Because again, it ultimately will help you sell more. But as you have that idea, that principle of we're here for the customer and not the customer here for you, you really just can't go wrong with that. And if a new business is starting out, if you lay those principles early on and get that foundation set, it can really accelerate the growth and profit of a business when your philosophy and your attitude is of serving first.
Oh, I love that so much. Where can people find you, connect with you, hire you, all that good stuff?
Well, the easiest place is my website, drkellyhenry.com. So drkellyhenry.com. You can find my book, you can find my services, you can set up I call it an analysis call where we can talk about what I do and where you're at in your business. And if we can help each other, if I can help the business owner. If not, I always like to leave my, these calls with some kind of value. But that's the easiest way to find me. And then I'm on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram under Dr. Kelly Henry as well. So, and then Define and Deliver Exceptional Customer Service. That's on my website, but you can also find that on Amazon. And I always like to mention, it's a paperback, a hard copy, a digital copy, and just newly, as of yesterday, an audible copy. So,
Yes,
I know,
are you the one who reads it? Are you the audio? I want a personal reading.
I really wish I would have. That's probably the biggest mistake. So Monica, when you put yours on the audio, make sure you read it yourself.
You're the one who's reading it. Yeah. Gotta do that.
the person who read it did a good job, but they just don't know the emotion behind certain parts and that I could have emphasized and that type of thing. So my next book, which is in the works, I will definitely be reading it.
Awesome.
That's nice.
Well, thank you so much. This has been so good. I feel like you dropped so many bits of knowledge and value. So we really, really appreciate you coming on the show.
Well, you're welcome. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be on the show. I love the name of it, Stumblin Forward, because that's been my life. So I was happy to be on this podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kelly. Yeah, it was amazing. And just so anyone who's listening, you'll know that we are on Apple Podcasts. Leave us 5 stars. We're on Spotify, Google Podcasts. And this beautiful video will be up on YouTube so you can see our faces. And thank you again, Dr. Kelly. And my name is Kristen Herman. I'm one of your hosts, as well as
I'm Monica Ortega. Thank you guys so much.
And thank you, Dr. Kelly. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.